So I recently finished watching the 11th episode of the third and final season of Star Wars: The Bad Batch. This is my review of Point of No Return. So if you don't want to be spoiled, I released my spoiler-free review earlier today. It'll be linked in the description and in the cards. This is a hard episode to talk about without spoilers, but just to recap, it was a great, phenomenal episode, and let's get into spoilers. So this episode does not pick up where Identity Crisis leaves off, save for CX2 being sent, or continuing his mission, I should say, to find Omega and the Bad Batch. Because the Empire wants to recover Omega for the Project Necromancer and all the stuff connected with the cloning experiments being held on Mount Tantus. That's pretty basic stuff. That's the only real connection, directly plot-wise. But, so the Empire finds about Pabu because the CX2 finds Fee's ship is able to decrypt her databank and figure out a planetary sequence. So yeah, so unfortunately, now Fee did think something was off, but or more accurately, she thought somebody was skulking about her ship, but CX2 covered his tracks pretty well, so she couldn't discover anything. But regardless about that, the Empire founds Pabu and a whole Imperial occupation force comes. And even though I'm going to spoil the end of the episode, Omega does give herself up. I have a feeling the Empire will be sticking around. That's just how the Empire operates. But I gotta say, the image of the Ventor coming in, it's not really coming in, they just look up and there it is. It's silhouetted in black. It makes the Ventor look more Imperial than Republic, which is obviously the purpose, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of the opening of Force Awakens, where we see the resurgence in just pitch black shade before we actually make anything else out about them. But by how they framed it, how they darkened the underbelly with silhouettes and shadows, like it really made it feel scary, threatening in a way Ventors have never really appeared before, because we normally see them from a more heroic angle back during the Clone Wars. So I just thought that was a neat scene. But yeah, the Empire invades, they're going door to door looking for Omega. Hunter's going to try to steal a gunship so he can get out of range, so they can contact Echo and obviously Rex for help. That doesn't work because guess what the CX clone does? He shoots the pilot of the gunship that Hunter was able to get on board. Or should I mention he also destroys their ship, the Marauder? Like, okay. So talk about tragedy. And that injures Wrecker, but Wrecker does survive. Barely. His signs are stable, but hey, at least they had AZ to help him recover. But yeah. And then so Crosshair and Omega are the ones who come up with the plan to, or more accurately, Omega comes up with a plan to let herself get captured so they can find Tantus. The idea is twofold. She brings her comlink on them so to track her, and in case gets confiscated, which it does, so somebody's being smart in the Empire for a change, that Crosshair will shoot a tracker onto the ship that Omega has put on. Unfortunately, that doesn't work, because it might have worked. I don't think it was Crosshair's aim, because it seems like mentally he's in a much better place, and he's also protecting Omega, so like in the last episode, that definitely seems to help steady him when he's not overthinking it. But the thing is, like, he takes aim, and I think if he was 1, maybe 2 seconds quicker, it would have landed. Because a couple things. He was caught by a couple of TK troops, so he had to dispatch them before he shot. And that time that he took to dispatch them gave enough time where by the time he was pulling the trigger, the ship was pulling away. So he had it lined up. But the ship moved out of his way. And that's hard to account for. So if he wasn't intercepted. But you know what? Given the fact of stuff we learned in Identity Crisis, where how Emery may no longer be fully on board, Omega coming back might be what it takes to her to realize, yeah, we can't do this anymore. There could be other things going on, but because of that, they might be able to figure something out. So, of course, now they're still confined, but it's hard to figure out everything that's going to go along there. But they got 3 people now probably on the base is going to be questioning, and I guarantee you those kids are going to be willing to help them escape and probably rescue the clones as well. But they're going to figure something out. Their plan failed, but Omega's pretty good at improvising. They'll come up with something. They're smart. And may I also mention that the clone cadets, they turned up again, so that's good. They'll probably volunteer to help rescue Omega. Probably anybody else Pabu, there's probably a few other people who will volunteer to help rescue Omega. May not turn out well for them, but it's all come to a head. We're at the point of no return in the story. Wherever the story is going to be going from here, it is going to be going, and there's no changing it now. And if you watch my spoiler review, you know I mentioned how this episode slightly parallels the ending of Season 2. Omega gives herself up to save other people. That is so within Omega's character. But this time they have a slightly better plan. Too bad circumstances didn't quite work out to their favor. And I just want to mention one other scene at the beginning of the episode where the Bad Batch is going to be leaving Pabu saying it's going to be safer for them. And yeah, probably so. It would have been safer. But so Omega decides they're going to leave a few things in basically Pabu's museum. So the Lucador and Tech's glasses. So that one's made me concerned. Great, are we going to have a confrontation with the CX2 that's going to reveal his identity and now it's going to be Tech because of those things, even though I don't want it to be that? Thankfully they didn't do that, but it just does make me wonder because of how that was framed in relation to the episode and all that. Thankfully, I was wrong. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. We're at the point of no return, and who knows where the episode is going to go next, but it's all going to be either uphill or downhill from here. It could go either way, but given the fact that it takes till, well, actually given the fact that Papa never quite makes Project Necromancer work the way he wants, I think there's a good chance that no matter what, they're going to cause chaos on Mount Tantus. That's the only thing I can say for sure, but we'll talk about that probably in a predictions video coming up shortly. But in the meantime, I would love to hear your thoughts on Point of No Return in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching my video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a like and share. Also, consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date on all my latest content. You can also stay up to date on my content by following me on social media. I have a link tree down in the description which has all my social media links on it. Additionally, if you would like to support the channel, you can become a channel member and get early access to all my videos. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the Force be with you always.